India had its fair share of great films this year with so many unconventional subjects shining, and we getting more and more of talented actors like Chaya Kadam and Kani Kusruti. It was an absolute delight. But, how can I forget the torture we were all collectively subjected to when we had to bear mindless, soulless flicks and sequels and quadruples and God knows what, which were only made to cash in some money and degrade art to the lowest levels possible. Hello Cinefam, welcome to my channel, and today we are talking about the 10 worst Indian films of 2024. Well, it was a lot more than 10, but I obviously can't put you through more pain than I put myself in, so just 10 for you cuties. Number 10. It is extremely hard to believe that Humi Arjania, who gave us Saas Bahu or Flamingos, one of the best series last year, has also given us Murder Mubarak, which is one of the worst Indian films this year. I felt that the makers went really lazy with the writing and the staging of the satirical scenes, ultimately paving way for endless melodrama and unbearable overacting from Sara Ali Khan and even from a brilliant actor like Tiska Chopra. So yeah, it was bad, but there's so much worse down the lane. Number 9. Honestly, Kanika Dhillon, the writer, thinks that she is the smartest of all human beings and she needs to stop being so overconfident with her scripts because they'll end up like this. Number 1 on Netflix for weeks, but people won't like or remember them at all because this was like so inconsistent and irrelevant. To be honest, I totally ranted in my review. You can watch all of that on the channel. And oh my god, Kajol was so miscast and she was trying so hard to be serious and cool at the same time. And it was very bad. Number 8 might come across as a shocker for most of you, but please don't kill me for this. Pushpa 2, guys. It was really not something one like me would appreciate. I mean, what was good about it? Tell me one thing. It was painful to see Fahad doing that crazy shit. I expected better from Sukumar as a filmmaker. Also, Pushpa Srivalli romance in the first half was the absolute definition of cringe, and overall, the film was like an amalgamation of all the goosebump moments, as you call them in today's times, and not ever as a film in whole. Because everything will happen in the next part, which is Pushpa 3. Then why the fuck would you make this part? Does it actually make any sense to you? Not to me, dude. Truly hard times we are in. Number 7. अच्छा आजकल ये बड़ा मस्त आइडिया आया ना फिल्म मेकर्स को. पहले मिलके एक कचरा मूवी लिखते हैं, फिर उसमें दुनिया जहाँ के सीक्रेट एजेंसीज को इन्वॉल्व करेंगे एंड देन एक फ्लॉप हीरो होगा जो हमारे देश को बचाकर महान बन जाएगा. दिस ट्रोप इज सो फ्रिकिंग अनोइंग एंड क्लीशेड, ओ माय गॉड. बट मोर देन 4 फिल्म्स इन दिस लिस्ट हैव दिस ट्रोप इन देम. तो ये ओवरयूज हुआ कि नहीं, ये आप मुझे बताइए. यार ये पेट्रियटिज्म के पीछे चुपके कितने दिन पैसे कमाओगे? और प्लीज थोड़ी अच्छी फिल्में देखें और अच्छी फिल्में बनाएं भी. Honestly, Ruslan के बारे में I don't have anything to say because it's so fucking thin and shallow. Number 6. The first 40 minutes, I think, till Kamal Hassan appears, up until that, the film was going well. But what was up with this obsession over gangsters loitering around girls and booze and the way our guy kills them? My god, it's so unintentionally funny. Shankar should honestly retire if he thinks he can be Atlee and make cool vigilante films. And who is he making Indian 3 for? Isn't he satisfied after torturing us this much? Number 5. I know Badi Miyan Chote Miyan was bad for a fact because this is a film that I've skipped the most of all films I've watched in my life. And honestly, I expected better from Ali Abbas Zafar. I mean, it takes immense efforts to waste a brilliant actor like Prithvi Raj, you know. His voice, face, everything you've got covered. Why would you even go to an extent and cast an actor of that stature then? Like, how could Ali even write this with the other 2 people? What were they doing? Just nodding because they were getting paid? I can't with this film anymore. Number 4. We have got Aranmanai 4. God knows how many more would Sundar make us watch. Which is probably till he lives, so it's actually easier for me to die, I guess. Kovai Sarala is so fucking annoying and she needs to retire for real. And Tamanna definitely needs to choose better scripts. The whole thing looked like it was a set. I mean, why the... Leave it, I'm done. This is my letterbox review of the film. And need I say more? Number 3. In The Family Star, the hero, or rather the man, as the heroine names her book on him, gives rape threat to his opponent to protect his own sisters-in-law and nieces. Let that sink in. There's more. When the man makes a dosa, he makes it so fine and thin that the makers had to use CGI to do that. There is so much more going on with the shitty, cringy romantic track which I can't even spoil. I mean, bro, things we do for Mrinal. Like, girl needs to sign better films for us at least. I think I should give myself a pat on my back because I sat through this shit. And not just that, there's more. Number 2. इस फिल्म से जुड़े सभी लोगों ने कंसेंट वर्ड का मजाक बना के रख दिया है. The dialogues and the dubbing both are unbearably cringy. Sanjay Dutt has starred in a cartoonish villainous role, which was like extremely bad. Same goes for Bani. This film, I mean, it's not helping anyone in any way. It's not even funny. So I think Puri Jagannath should just stop making films because he's not relevant at all. And the top spot, everyone, is reserved for this year's legend, the one and only Martin. Trust me when I say this, that when I watched Martin, I was like, why was I getting so annoyed at the beginning of the year for Murder Mubarak? Because after watching Martin, Murder Mubarak seemed so damn good. And Sara Ali Khan seemed like a potential Oscar winner. Achha, I was very paranoid to even use screenshots of this film because every fellow creator who did that, they got a copyright strike. Let me upload this video and we'll see what happens. The lead actor in this film, my god, he looks like he's possessed throughout the film and not going through a memory loss situation. God knows what he was briefed with. And this action prince, as they call him, roams around every nook and corner of the earth in these 2.5 hours, romancing nubile angelic beauties and kicking asses. Unbearable shit. Please don't let me speak more on this. That was it, everyone. All the torture you and I had to go through today. You can watch these films if you want to, but I have warned you. Don't forget that. You can follow me on Letterboxd and X. Here's the handle. Subscribe if you like my videos, and I'll see you soon in another one. Till then, keep watching good stuff, please, so that people make better stuff, so that I don't have to go through this shit anymore. Thank you. Thank you for watching.